This is so cool. Right, so we've got a few interviews from yesterday, which we're gonna go through. Um, Obviously, some of the managers came out swinging for their players. Some of them, defended their players. Some of them got better at actually doing post-match interviews, which was nice to see, nice to hear. You know, a certain manager that used to be like very critical of how his team plays or gave up or not giving up, they were really good yesterday with the post-match interview. And over that period or so, you look at them, you watch the game, and then you try and relate back to the post-match interview and go, okay, I can see what he's doing here, where he's coming from. But I watched the game yesterday between Manchester United and Forest. Forest managed to stop the rot, but they couldn't win the game. And United could have, we went top two for 45 minutes. 45 minutes we stayed at top two, and then boom, second half in 4 minutes we went back down to, I think, fifth. We're currently fifth, yeah. Within 4 minutes we went down to fifth. Yeah, it was a crazy day. But overall, at least we didn't lose the game yesterday. Even though we didn't win it, we could have. Then Tottenham, they're having a bad run. We're playing them next. They're next on the hit list. And then hopefully we can get a result from them. If we get a result from them, then absolutely it'll be brilliant. It'll be brilliant. We're supposed to be 6 points behind Arsenal, but I think now we're probably 8 points, 7 points. But yeah, let's listen to some of the stuff the managers had to say after the interviews. Let's see. Chelsea had a really good game yesterday as well.
I'm sitting with you because Ari is going for a nap.
Ari's going for a nap.
My game chair.
Alright, I'm using it right now. Can you just sit there for now? Let me finish with this, yeah? What game are you playing?
Rocket League.
Okay. Yeah, Aris just coming to the room now because Aria is going to bed for a bit. He's going for a nap. And Aris is sitting with me. Say what's up. But anyway, I'm gonna try and look for again, just give me a minute. Because I was about to do that, then Aris came into the room. But yeah, managers were going at it yesterday, especially the Tottenham manager. He said so much stuff. Well, from what I've read so far online, he said so much stuff. Let's have a look at that. This is on his slot. And after that, we've got.
After the run you've been on, is relief the emotion at the end, or how are you feeling?
Happy with the result and with the performance and with what I saw today, not only from the players but also the support we got from the fans was, I think, what we needed today. Yeah, maybe we were a bit more on the lucky side now than we've been in the last few weeks, where, in my opinion, we were we were also unlucky. So a mistake of their goalkeeper, deflection, led to 2 of our goals. So these are the margins we are talking about. I think in other games we've created more from open play than we did today. But yeah, in football it's about results, not about the chances you create from open play.
So in terms of the fans, I mean, they thank you and they showed you great backing. What did that mean to you personally?
A lot, of course, especially because it happened at 0-0, so not when you are leading, not when you are top of the league, but when you're in a difficult situation as a club, as a team. And because I'm definitely part of that, it's also a difficult situation for me. And then to get the support the players got, but also I got, that is something what makes this club special, I think. They don't forget if you've been part of something special, and they help you, especially if things are difficult. And that's what it was the last few weeks. Things were difficult. We were not winning. By the way, we were losing. And so they felt, the players, maybe even me, needed a bit of support, and that's what you get then from these fans.
Felt like you maybe had a little bit more control at times tonight. It wasn't quite as frantic. Did you feel that? Did you feel like you could control the game a little bit more?
Yeah. Like in Frankfurt. And the comparison between these two is that we were twice leading. And in other games we've always been, or not always, but mainly after 5 minutes we went 1-0 down, and then you get a complete different game. So I think now everybody liked it, the way we controlled the game in the end, and how we were passing and playing through them. Where if you do the same, if you're 3-1 down and it doesn't lead to a chance or a goal, people are getting a bit annoyed that you don't create a chance. So that you cannot compare a game of football where you're 2-0 up with a game of football where you're 3-1 down when it comes to control. So yeah, this is, I think, what we prefer to see, being 2-0 up and have a bit more control. But yeah, if we need goals, then we need to be more open, and as a result of that, you sometimes see a counter-attack as well.
Hi, Alan. Can you just ask about Conor Bradley's performance? Because I thought it was excellent. There was some suggestion that Mo's missed Trent a little on the right, but it seems like that partnership might be developing between the two of them.
Yeah, the more players play together, the better it will be. You cannot compare Trent with Conor, but Conor played an outstanding game, like many others. I think the team performance is what made the difference today. Everyone was really fighting to get that win over the line, throwing themselves in front of shots, sprinting back when needed, being ready for a high press. So there are a lot of positives to take, also from individual performances like Conor's. The challenge for him now will be to make himself ready, because he's not been used to 90 minutes a lot this season, and after 2 days of rest, the next one is coming up, and yeah, so we have to think about that as well. But for now, your question was, did he play well? Yes, he played well today.
Mo's spoken very honestly on his Flash TV interview, said he's not being happy with his goal, but the way he took that goal, look, that wasn't an easy finish in terms of being on his right foot. What will that performance have come from tonight, and if you even get up to 250 goals, that landmark is huge.
Yeah, that's huge. That's almost unbelievable if you score 250 goals for one club. If you score 250 goals, is already unbelievable, let alone for one club. You don't see this that much in football anymore. And I think apart from the goal he scored tonight, he had a very good performance, because when we had to play long, we played mainly long towards him, and he could hold the ball. So because of that, the rest of the team could come to him, and we could keep playing. And what I also liked is that he didn't only did his offensive work really well, but he helped the team out defensively as well. I think after we scored the 1-0, he was helping Virgil, I think, somewhere around the halfway line. And this is what this combination of things led to the fact that I liked his performance tonight. And of course, it's special for him to score is 250. For him to score is not even that special, because that's what we all know he will always do.
During the fans have always they've given you this backing throughout the whole time. During the run of results, did you ever feel any pressure at all, other than maybe from yourself, the pressure for yourself to win?
No, I think you always feel pressure if you're at Liverpool, if you're leading the table with 15 games to go, you feel pressure, and if you are in a run of form that we were in, you feel the pressure. But I've always felt the support of the fans, as long as I'm here, and also in the recent results, I have never felt that there was anything less than it was before. But I think they were there for me, but they were not only there for me, they were there for the team tonight as well. I think they were so supportive, and that is what can have a big impact, because we've played many away games, so we had poor results. I'm completely aware of that, but we had to play a lot of away games where the fans still help us. But you cannot compare that to a home game under the lights at Anfield. Then that's something what I would take 10 out of 10 times if I have to play a game of football.
Okay, that's Annie Slot. Obviously, he said a lot of good stuff there. About the fans, about Mo Salah, about the team. The only thing I didn't like what he said there is this constant talking about players having to play 2 days, every 2 days, and rest every 2 days and rest. That's what normal people do. Normal people go to work 7 days a week, 5 days a week. They have to do it over and over, and they only get some people only get a day rest or 2 rest. So if Connor wants to become a top player, he's got to be able to adapt and play those games, be ready for those games every day. He's got to be ready to take the responsibility to say, you know what, I'm at a big club, one of the biggest club in the world, and possibly the biggest club, one of the biggest club in England, or, in England as well, in the Prem. And just run with it, run with the opportunity. Every player would love to be in this position, to playing for Liverpool, week in, week out, even every day. Some people want to play every day, as long as they've got a little bit of rest. So that's the only thing I would say that I don't like this guy about when he complains about the fixtures. We know the fixtures we've been known that for years now, that it's not going to change. In fact, we're going to get more games coming up. So either you find a way to knock yourself out of the League Cups or the FA Cups like he did last week, got knocked out by Crystal Palace by selecting a team of academy players. It's not even the second team, it's not even the third team. Man selected the boys from the academy that, like the guys that just got picked, just got scouted for the Liverpool academy. So for me, that's you reducing your games for those players. But you can't be making excuses for those players about playing every 2 days, because 2 games every week, if that's your job, that's what you got to do. That's what you've got to do. You've got to play every single 2 days. That's what you got. That's because it's your job. How can you talk about, I've got to run for 90 minutes every 2 days. I've got to run for 90 minutes every 2 days. I've got to run for 90 minutes every 2 days. Bruh, come on. Come off it, bruh. But again, that's the only thing I'll say, that he needs to back off from making those excuses for those players. But he's good at making those excuses, because I think it's taking away the pressure from the players, and just try and make it by himself, which is now we're doing. We're talking about the manager rather than the players. But again, he won the game yesterday, which proves that he was right to bench those players and pick the academy players. So, fortunately for him, he escaped that one, and he played a team that sort of like play the same style of football. They want to keep the ball a lot. They want to press. They want to show they've got skills. All right, mate. They want to show that they can keep the ball. They can do a lot with the ball. But yeah, that's the only thing I've got to say. But in terms of Mo Salah, I think I've got to do an episode for Mo Salah, man. He deserves so much credit. As I said last night, Mo deserves so much credit. I'm not even joking. 250 goals for one team. Name a player that will achieve that again, apart from Haaland. I can't think of any player that will be on the verge of achieving that. Maybe Bruno Fernandes. We don't see that anymore, where players go ahead and just smash it now. 100 goals, never. Come on, people struggle now to score 50 goals, especially in the Premier League, because we don't have, people are not safe anymore. Footballers, their positions are not safe anymore. But what Mo Salah has done for Liverpool and has done at Liverpool, scoring 250 goals week in, week out, I mean, the conversation should be around him about the best player. The Premier League is saying, I don't care what all these other guys are talking about, because if you're giving Thierry Henry more credit, right, and you're giving other players, I can't even think of, why is Mo Salah not ever in the conversation of, being a GOAT? He's a GOAT of the Premier League. Absolutely, he's a GOAT. I got to find his goals. I got to do an episode of all the 250 goals he scored. That's gonna be a long one. But credit to Mo Salah, as and it's lot touched on there, to do it every day, and people expect nothing but, nothing less than that. So nothing less than that from Mo Salah, and he's banging goals. Yesterday he scored the 250th goal for Liverpool. It's an absolute legend for Liverpool now. I'm telling you, bro, he should be in the conversation. I mean, the Ballon d'Or, it's a tough one for any Premier League player to win the Ballon d'Or, because there's so much politics going on. So much politics, because if you think about people like Harry Kane, they've done so much, in football. They've got so many goals. If it just counts by goals and everything, and his work rate and everything else, winning, moving to Germany, a new club, a new team, a new country, winning the league there. If you think about those, it's just hard for Premier League players to win the Ballon d'Or. It's hard. And you had Rodri, when was the last time after you had Ronaldo, Michael Owen, Sir Bobby, yeah? But apart from that, you can't think of anybody else, who you can say if they actually, Haaland should be in the conversation as well. I don't know. It's hard for Premier League teams to win the Ballon d'Or. So mostly, if Mo Salah was playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid or Paris Saint-Germain, it would be a different conversation. People will be talking about him. People will be calling for him to win the Ballon d'Or and what's not. But anyway, congratulations to Mo Salah for scoring the 250th goal for Liverpool. Massive achievement. That's it, Mo Salah. But I watched it yesterday and it was pretty good. Anyway, we move on to Manchester United. This is what Ruben Amorim had to say. Yeah.
Two of them says you two names.
Igalo and Ronaldo. Yeah. Right. So let's have a look what the United manager had to say after the game, after the draw. I think I'm just going to put both of them together here. Let's see if I'll be able to play it together.
Are you going to put Messi on it?
No, yeah.
Or are you gonna
I'm
put
just
Messi?
I'm just doing the post interviews for now.
Oh.
go to United manager first.
Okay, start us off, Dan.
Good evening, Ruben. What were your thoughts on how that game kind of went for your side?
I think we lost control of the game for 5 minutes and we paid the price. I think we did some things well. I think also that our level of energy, we drop a little bit. And when our team drop a little bit the energy, you can feel it. We can play well, but it's not in full. But my feeling is that the players really tried. And they tried during the week and they tried today. In the past, if we had this kind of bad 5 minutes and we suffered 2 goals, we didn't recover. Today is a different feeling. You can sense that we could not win this game, but we are not going to lose, and that is a feeling that a big team sometimes have to have. We had a big opportunity to win in the end, but we drop. My feeling is we dropped 2 points here and should have done better.
The positive, as you mentioned, is the resilience, I suppose, that the team has built over the last 12 months, not just today, but maybe recent weeks as well. How has the team been able to build that?
It's how to do it. It's not. I think last year we suffered a lot, and we want to win games and to overcome these moments. But now we know how to do it, and they know that. We just need to be inside the game until the final 10 minutes of the game, and that is part of football. In the past, we could lost everything in the positions, the way we played the game. Today was not. The feeling was not that one. So I think we are improving in that aspect. Again, we did some things right, but also the good thing is that we have potential to play so much better, and that is the goal.
You kind of already answered my question a little bit, but do you feel like if that game had happened last season that you would have lost it?
Yeah, for more goals, I think. That is my feeling.
And that resilience that you're talking about, where is that coming from? How is that being?
It's the confidence, of course, is completely different. We came from 3 good games, and we have a different confidence. We understand better each other. We talk more about this, that the football is like and we proved this year. We can have bad moments, but suddenly we have 3 good games. So football is like that, and a game is like that also. You have good moments, we score. You can sense that we are in control of the game when the first.
Oh, well, it looks like I'm able to bring you the full interview from Ruben Amorim because my system has decided to crash. I have to come back to this one. Might need to come back to this one at some point. Let's have a look here. But it did, like I said, it's improved so much in terms of the way it speaks. The media now, its analysis, they were spot on last season. If that game was ongoing, we'll probably lose that game. Absolutely 100% would have lost that game. Because no way the edge would have been gone. People will be blaming each other, looking at each other's pointing figures. You know, but yesterday we saw a different side to the team where they were down but not out. You know, from 1-0 to 1-1 to 2-1 to 2-2, they were down, they were up, down, but never out. So that is spot on in terms of what it said there. But it's a shame I can't bring the rest of the interviews because my system decided to do whatever it is doing now. I hate when it does it, but hey, it is what it is. Let me just refresh and see if we'll come back to that point. Yeah, the players showed something yesterday. At least we didn't lose the game. It was just the first 5 minutes they lost their concentration, and they lost. I don't know if they came out thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be an easy game now," all right? But Deitch went into his dressing room and said, "No, what? Let's turn this thing around." Anyway, let me not speak on Deitch at the minute because this was about Amorim and leading the press. Let's have a look. He said we could not win, but we will not lose, quote and unquote, Amorim. We could not lose. I'm just waiting for it to load again. He's coming now, guys. He's coming. Be patient. He's coming. Just waiting for the interview to load up. System's crashing everywhere, man. It's Sunday. Everyone is at home trying to watch the games as well. Getting ready to watch Super Sunday. Oh, it's not working, bro. It's not working. What's going on? But anyway, I've seen some Sean Dyche interview, post-match interview. He did call out the refs, to be honest, VAR and everything. And our first goal, if we're just being honest with it to ourselves, that corner was not a corner. The ball was still in play. So Dyche was right to call out the refs and VAR and whatever. But to be honest with you, we deserve a bit of luck as well, United. We deserve a bit of luck because for so long, so many months, almost 2 years, even under Erik ten Hag, since Klopp came out, called out the refs and VAR, whatever, saying United were getting all the chances or all the penalties given to them. We started losing games. We started losing everything. I think the interview is back.
That the football is and we improve this year. We can have bad moments, but suddenly we have 3 good games. So football is like that, and a game is like that also. You have good moments, we score, you can sense that we are in control of the game when the first half finish. We start the second half and we suffer. We disconnect for 5 minutes, and that's enough in Premier League. But we managed to recover from that, and that is a good feeling.
Sorry, Ruben. What was the thinking about your substitutions in the second half? Like sometimes you will make 5 changes. Today it was only 2, and it was 2 defenders coming on in essence.
Yeah, sometimes it's not if you put more strikers, I don't feel that we are going to play better. If you see Dalot, many times Dalot has the ball with space to make the cross, but his right foot is always inside without space. The only thing is, Patrick, you are going to do the same thing when you have the ball. Go to the side and cross, the space is there, because if you want to come inside, Cunha is there always to receive the ball. Nus, if you see the end of the second half, Lenny was the guy always with space to run with the ball, and is Nus is a fullback, so we try to use the characteristics of the players. And then it's not the quality, because we have a lot of quality on the bench, but sometimes I had the feeling if I'm going to stop the game all the time, I'm going to break something. And I think we were improving during the second half. So my feeling was I'm not changing anything in the guys in front. We have the talent there, maybe, and I know that Ahmad can do so much better, but I know that Ahmad 1 against 1 is really dangerous. So sometimes we just expect that one guy that is not doing a great game can change the game for us. He managed to score, but again, we have potential to do so much better, and we lost 2 points today.
Ruben, I understand what you're saying, but if you're Kobe Mainu or Joshua Zirkzee sat on the bench and you feel you can do something in the game and you just sit there, how does that make them feel, and how do you deal with it?
No, I could do the same thing if Kobe Mainu or Mason Mount was there also, Kobe Mainu, Josh, and then you have to imagine the game. Josh is better. It's like a little bit like Cunha playing between the lines. And if you see the game, we have a guy that needs to be inside the box, and Ben is the best one to do that. Sometimes it's the characteristics of the games, and they know that is something. It's just a moment. We try to do our best. It's nothing to do with the quality that we have on the bench. And you have a lot of games that happen.
Ruben, those 2 goals you conceded in that short space of time, is that an example of why you just won't get carried away as a manager, and a sign that defensively there are still those weak moments that as a team you need to address in the league? I mean, both goals were quite disappointing, really, defensively.
That is because of everything. I understand the momentum of our team. Nothing it changed radically from the last weeks. Just the confidence and the results. The way you see our team is different, but the way I see the potential of the team in the moment that we are doesn't change. So it's my job to try to maintain the team balance. And then if you see the first goal is a gamble. I want Ahmad playing in that position, but he's not the best one to defend cross. So I think we are better if we press high, if you have more guys in front to control better the games. If I have a different guy there, maybe we could defend better that. Then it's a gamble. And we try to do that, changing the characteristics game by game, but it's not just about the defensive aspect. It's also the moment of the team and the moment of our club.
Last question for Carl.
Mr. Amarin, on Thursday you spoke a little bit about how your team varies, the difference in energy when they play away from home versus at home. Did you think that energy dip was because you were playing from away from home?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is. If you play nowadays and you were there, if you play at Old Trafford, you can feel the vibe, and that can help us in certain moments. We need to regain that feeling of a big team. That doesn't matter the environment. We can control everything, but we are not there. But also, if you see the big teams also in our big teams, also other big teams in our league, they are more comfortable playing at home. So that is normal. What we need to do is to put that energy, and sometimes it's harder to put away, but we need to push from ourselves that energy, because our team needs to play in full energy to be really, really good. If we drop a little bit, you can feel it, even seeing the team.
You've spoken a lot about confidence. Now, do you think your team is just more confident when they play at home?
Yeah, I think it's
That's enough. He talks too
just
much.
The
Just give one more answer. He talks too much.
There's one transition. And then you saw so many transitions today when they bounce the ball. When you play at home, you feel the vibe of our crowd.
He's just repeating himself.
So that's why Old Trafford is so important for us, especially in this moment. Thank you, guys.
Right, we're moving on to Sean Dyche. But before we move on to Dyche, you can hear, before we move on to Dyche there, you can hear the press. They're laughing there, they smile, they're giggling, because they know they got what they want from the guy. They know they've got the headline. They know whatever they're looking for. In fact, they didn't even ask him about the goal, whether he thinks the ball had gone out or whatever. But one or two word answers should be enough for Amorim. I think he said a lot of good stuff in that interview, but most of it just repeating himself. Old Trafford confidence. So, bro, these guys are international players. What are you talking about? Playing home and away, right? Not feeling, the vibe at Old Trafford. We all know that. Every manager will tell you the same thing. Playing at home is better than playing away, but that's not how it is. Stop this. Players got to go out there. We've got the best away fans in the league. The best away fans in the league. Anyone can tell you that. They never shut up. Wherever they go, they don't shut up, right? I've tried to get tickets to go to away games, but I've never been lucky, to make it to one of those games. But Amorim just rambles. He rambles, bro. Yeah, it was a good game yesterday. The lapses were there. First 5 minutes, he said that spot on. The first 4-5 minutes of the second half, we lost our concentration, right? We're not blaming any players, but then he started going into Ahmad. I put Ahmad in that position. If I'd put somebody else there, could have done better. And so you knew Ahmad was not good in that position, but you still put him there. Yeah. And how do you expect the player to think? If I was sitting there, I'll be thinking, why would he put me on left back duty or right back duty when you know I'm not a left back or right back? What are you thinking, bro? Then he come onto the press, to the media, and talking all that nonsense. He's improving in his media, the way he handles the media, but he just needs to ramble less. Because we all saw it. Ahmad yesterday got bullied twice. Both goals came from that end. They were targeting him as if the Forest players were targeting Ahmad. He's like, yeah, go on, mate. We'll send it up top. We'll send it to you. Right? Jump, bully him. And Ahmad got bullied. You've seen that as a manager, as a coach. Why don't you put your big players at the, get some help for him, the big players to defend against the opposition big players. But Ahmad was bullied yesterday. Obviously, he scored a really good goal at the end of it all. But taking Dalot off, which was the right decision, by the way. Absolutely, it was. I didn't think he was going to come off anyway, because the Portuguese connection and everything else. You might call it an agenda, but it's the fact. He never takes him off. He never takes Dalot off. In fact, he would just switch him over to the right hand side. But yesterday, Dalot was so shit. The ball bounced in front of him. He didn't react. His reaction was as if he might as well not be at the game. He was so distracted. And players like that, as long as they're there, we're not going to win the league. Players like Dalot. Because they've been carried by certain players in that team. They were carried by, well, they still carried by Bruno. Because if Bruno don't run back or to defend, Ahmad doesn't run back to defend, or Mbeumo doesn't run back to defend, or we saw that when Marcus Rashford stopped running back. And these players got exposed. You know, I reckon Rashford got tired of playing alongside his players. I'm going, no, I'm tired of carrying you lot. Right? I'm not going to run back for you now if you're not going to defend. Because if I'm scoring goals and you're not doing anything, I mean, that's another topic for another day anyway. But Dalot's liability, we could have lost that game because of Dalot. Luke Shaw was absolutely, he was better yesterday because obviously the World Cup is around the corner. Bruno, yeah. Dogu, when he came on yesterday, changed the game. And they asked him about Xerxes because me yesterday, I thought that game was made for Xerxes up top. Somebody to hold the ball, bring in the play, invite all the other players to come forward, especially the way Senna Lamins has been playing now, chucking the ball up top, make sure the big guy up top, Šeško, get hold of the ball, bring everyone into play. But Šeško yesterday didn't really get direct passes. So people are saying he ghosted, as if it was his fault. It did not really create much impact because the ball, first half he was alright. Second half, Forest played the same game that we were playing. They start switching the ball, long balls, long throws and everything. And then that's when we start struggling the second half to cope. Because Dyche was going to keep the ball. Right, but you saw United were just launching the ball up top. So Šeško disappeared yesterday, but it's not all down to him because the crosses were not really direct at him. They were just putting crosses for no reason, So to me, I thought he should have taken Šeško off yesterday and bring in Xerxes because he can keep the ball. He's technically good, he can run through the lines, but he didn't. And Meno was sat on the bench. And you've got Max who sat on the bench, and you start thinking. I mean, people like Max, they've had minutes, but people like Meno and Xerxes, what has he got against them? And that's what the journalists were asking him. Like, if I was Meno and Xerxes, I'll be sitting there. I know I can change this game. How would they be feeling? But the guy, he rambles too much, man. He rambles too much. I mean, yeah. The first part of the interview said, if this was last season, right, we would have lost the game. But now we saw a fight that, they knew that if we can't afford to lose this game. So the players definitely know how to fight back now, how to hold on and try and defend the result. And his decision yesterday to only substitute defenders in, I think that was a really good point there because sometimes you just go manage the game. He could have gone in all out and bring in strikers and say, you know what, let's go win the game. And then we ended up losing that game. But he said, you know what, I'll take the point. I don't want any more defeat. Let me bring in defenders. Let's see how we can manage the game to the end. So I gave him that for that because, like I said there, if we had lost that game yesterday, we would have been in a worse position than we are today. But bringing in defenders and not worry about strikers at the same time. I know me saying Xerxes should have been on. It's also like he can't win really. He can't win, But he managed it really well because he didn't want to lose the game. You can say he didn't want to lose the game. And for us, we're physical. That game was really physical. So he brought in defenders to manage the game, to see the game to the end, which, yeah, I'll give that to him. Fair play. And then we're moving on to Dyche's interview now. Let's see what he's got to say.
actually.
Okay, Dan, when you're ready.
Thanks, evening, Sean. What was your overriding feeling after that game and result?
Well, I was pleased and proud of the players' performance to come out of the Bournemouth game, which is a flat one, and come in here and at home with the fans here and the noise of the fans and all that. But then you got to deliver, and I thought we did for the most part. First half more with the ball and you know, trying to open them up. And second half, because I know you're going to ask me about the obvious, and then second half, you know, more on a containing basis, which I'm okay with that because there's a bit of nervousness. Can you get that first win? So it's hard to keep playing free and open when they're just edgy a bit, which is, I imagine, you know, there would be because you're searching for that big win. Excuse me. But we looked defensively really strong, I thought. You know, I don't think they opened us up much, not big chances. And then unfortunately, the lad hits one great strike. You know, is he impeding the keeper's view and all that? But I don't know. I mean, that's for the powers that be. But now you can ask me the inevitable.
Well, I'm guessing you want to know, or you want to be asked about United's first.
Well, I'm surprised if that wasn't one of your first questions. You can ask what you want. I'd be very surprised if that wasn't on the end of your lips.
It was. I wanted to warm you up first, but yes.
Well, the thing is that, you know, 2 weeks on the trot, which is bizarre in itself. Similar but different, obviously. The last one was a clear mistake, which I got booked for. I still agree with that. How on earth I get booked for an actual mistake, proven, is bizarre. And then today, I just can't understand it. You know, you're an assistant referee, you're 70-odd yards away. You've got a goal and a net in the way, but apparently you can see. I've got a better view and I'm not in the right position. So that's got to be wrong, you know, in the current climate. The thing that annoys me the most, I'm a big fan of VAR, that's like, someone's got to be able to overrule these decisions just really quickly. That'll be 5 seconds. You just go, you know, that's in play. And he's deemed out of play and they whack it in, they score a goal. 2 weeks on the trot. Now, of course, you can say, well, you've got to deal with the corner, but the point is it shouldn't even be that. So that's really difficult. And then to give my reasoning behind it, which I think is more important, because obviously people say, oh, yeah, but it's only just over the line. No, sorry, just on the line. Well, it's on the line. So imagine a goal scored, you know, with the watch when it beeps or vibrates for the ref. Well, what do? You've seen it. You've all seen it. You know, the cyclists have it. It's like 1 millimetre. And they say, well, how's it going over the line? So how can you see that from 78 yards away? For me, that's 5 seconds of VAR. And they got, you know, the refs talking to people and all that, waste time, walking over the screen. We all know that waste time is like pointless. And they go about speeding up the game. But big decisions like that would, for VAR, for someone to override that decision, be 5 seconds. They'd look and go, bang, that's it, done. Wrong decision. That's it. So that's really, really frustrating 2 weeks on the trot. I know it's an unusual stat for that to happen. Of course, I'm aware of that. Chances are very slim, but it has happened. With all the technology and all that's at stake, particularly for us at Nottingham Forest Football Club after the start the club's had, that's a big moment, you know, and all of a sudden that goes against you. And that's very, very frustrating when it could be really easily cleared up for me.
Simon?
Hey.
I appreciate what you're saying, but do you really think it would be 5 seconds? I mean,
well,
okay,
that's like fair. Be 6. No, but if someone, if you know.
But you know what it's like.
Right, they have all these rules and IFAB and which I understand, right? There has to be rules. But surely there's a bit of common sense when someone just goes, hang on a minute, that's you know, that's an assistant seeing that from 78 yards away. But someone's got a monitor there who can just go, bang, that's it, bang, decision done. They shouldn't have to look at that 300 times because I've seen it from one view. I've seen it from one view and it is pretty conclusive. And here's one for you. We've all seen this. What about when players take a corner in the quadrant? We all just sit there. Sure, I can see it from 75 yards away that it's not in. Do you know what I mean? But he apparently can see it through a goal net, through the goal line, through the players, through the posts. It's impossible. And we all see it on the quadrant where the ball is hanging over the quadrant by 1 millimetre and they say, well, no, it's in the quadrant. Do you get my point?
Well, I do get your point, but I just think, in my experience, 5 seconds.
The ball's in play, as simple as that. Well, no, but that's another conversation. I'm exaggerating maybe, but for me, that's all right, it's 10 seconds. The point is, it ain't 3 minutes. You don't need 3 minutes of looking at that. It's a very simple moment. And last week was an incredibly simple moment, factually a wrong decision. They can take that car last week must take 5 seconds. You just go wrong, tell the ref wrong, that's it, end of. Surely. Because there's a lot of stake in these games. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of stake. So just get it right. We all want it right. Every fan wants it right. But anyway, look, it's gone against us again. We just have to get on with it. Simple as that. And you know the worst thing as well? I've been back in the game for 3 games. I'm talking about 2 weeks on the trot talking about referees and decisions. That is really frustrating. I don't want to be talking about this, do I? I'll be talking about my team. My team have done great in 2 of them performances. Porto, this performance, I think, of really solid performances, really good. A lot of individuals played great. And that's what I want to be talking about, but unfortunately, I can't because it's cost us.
You might like this question then, sure. United obviously got very experienced midfield, but Elliot Anderson I thought was outstanding today. What have you made of him situated? How good can he be?
Yeah, so after the Porto game, he's got to learn the nuts and bolts positionally, but he's a very good player. He deals with the ball well. He's got a really good attitude. I like him. He's got that nice nature about him. He moans a lot, but I've already slaughtered him about that. We'll get that out of him. But he moans in a good way. He's a really good player. And like I say, learning as he goes about the Premier League, positional, like I say, the nuts and bolts of it, but he's a very good player. I thought Callum did a great job, especially second half, defensively, working inside to outside and still causing trouble. Morgan's worked really hard again and he nicks himself a goal. Dan's learning, even a few mistakes there, but I thought Dan was working really hard, and Igor's learning about the Premier League. We've got injuries and all the rest of it. So some really good signs. I thought defensively we looked really solid. I know it sounds mad when you see 2. We've gone through one of them, but I thought generally we were solid. Lots of good performance. Sav's only still young. He's played 20 games, I think, before he's come here. He's a young man earning his spurs. These things have all got to be developed quickly. A lot of the players they bought are younger players. They might have paid big fees, but they haven't got a massive depth of experience in football and the Premier League especially. So we're having to fast track everything. But there's some really good signs. 2 out of 3 performances are really, really strong performances, I think, and certainly performances I think can bring more wins.
Just one thing I want to actually, obviously you talked about the defence, how they played well, but there is one stat that predates you that they've now won 18 games without a clean sheet, which is the worst record in the top.
Is that including the Porto game or?
No, in the league.
Oh, in the league, sorry, yeah.
Is that anything that concerns you? I mean,
No, what it is, I said this week, I said, look, when I spoke to the owner, I said, look, we haven't got magic wand, we haven't got magic dust, this is a process, which he understands, and I can't change everything. There's other stats that team, I said in the media, just to bring a bit of reality to the turnaround, is it's 16 games, 13 goals before we came in, or before the league, before we came in, It's not like it's just you flick switching it all, win 10 on the trot. I hope we do, but it's not normally like that. There's a lot to be done here. There's a lot of the end of last season wasn't going that way, you know what I mean? It was slowly drifting a little bit. Still a great season, just to be clear. Fantastic season, actually, for this football club. But it was drifting a little bit. Pre-season, hardly scored goals in pre-season. And then going season, hardly score goals. We've got to correct all of that and stop it in that end and put it in that end, as Sir Alex Ferguson once reminded me. That's the job.
I just wanted to check, based on what you're saying about VAR, you're a fan of VAR and the stakes are so high. In America, obviously, coaches can challenge a decision if they believe it's fundamentally wrong, if they win it. Do you think that could be something?
I don't want to go down that road. I just think it's a really simple process that's made bitty. The management, I'm telling you, the managers' meeting before, when I was at Everton, I said clearly, why are you getting referees to talk to the crowd? Why? I don't understand. Referees have got enough on their plate. It's not natural for everyone to want to talk in front of 70,000 people, 40,000 people. It's not a natural thing. So why put them under that pressure when they've already got... I'm a big fan of referees, And they know it, I think. I'm a big fan. I always say the 3 hardest jobs in a stadium at any level is the 2 managers and the referee. They're the 3 hardest jobs for me in football currently. So I'm a big fan of referees, but why give them all this extra weight? I don't understand fan involvement. Why? I don't know, I'm a fan of football, I don't want to hear the referee. The best referees are when you don't hear them and they have a great game and you actually after the game go, do you know this referee? You go, no, not really. They're the best referees, they're the best refereeing performances when you don't notice them. So why put the onus on them? No, I'm not challenging anything. I'm just telling you my opinion. I'm not challenging anything. I'm not saying I'm right about anything. It's only an opinion. It doesn't mean it's the right opinion. But I think I'm not far wrong. You know, because I think there's a lot of fans out there who go, well, yeah, actually, why? Why do we have to listen to the referee? Why does he keep walking over to the monitor? Keep talking about speeding up. Just take that away, but get that right today. That's more important. If I'm a fan, get the decision right. Don't worry about whether you're talking to us. Explain. What do I need a referee to? I can't work it out. I really can't. I was worried. I'd be like, really? I don't want to talk to the fans on a loudspeaker. I have 70,000 people. They'd be like, oh, you know, are they suddenly public speaking? They're doing lessons now in public speaking. Think about it. It's just, not everyone is like that. Not everyone likes that, do they? We all know it in life. I can see you nodding. You're right, because not everyone's like that. Let the referee just referee. Why keep giving them more? Anyways.
Sean, these players have got quite a lot of stick in the first part of the season. 2 managers came and went, obviously. And in fact, a couple of them admitted that maybe some of that was justified. What sort of response you seen from them? Are you happy with them?
I've seen a very good response. I think they know we've already started our education on the physical side for my way of working, to be clear again. The stats, the facts, looking at some of their performances, but also some of the really good stuff. I think there's some talent here. I think the basis to work from is good. We'll still get injuries when them players come back as well. It's a big squad, but it's got some knowledge and some talent and some newness with the younger players. But whatever the mix is, you've got to win games, and that's the biggest challenge. We've got to change that, and we've already spoken to the stats in the past: clean sheets, goals scored. So there's a big job. You know, it's not just like, oh well, you know, there you go and crack on. It's not like that. It's a big job, but the signs are very, very clear, I think, with 2 out of the 3 performances, certainly today and certainly against Porto. There's a group who are willing to work, to play as well, because we want to find that balance, and also to fight for the club, for the badge. I think there's been good signs of that.
And that goal line clearance at the end was quite spectacular, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we were saying actually, funny enough, the thing I am pleased about, we did ask questions, we did put the ball in the box more. You know, we didn't do that against hardly at all, and we did today. And we scored 2 good goals for different reasons. A great header from Morgan, but also the bits from Sav, you know, to be alive in the box. And we were explaining to them, ugly goals are still good goals. No one looks at the end of the season, you know, they just look how many goals you scored. It doesn't have to be a classic every week. You don't have to smash it in the top corner every week. What about just scoring goals? And I think we've got to get that mentality, and I think it's improving, I think it's growing, and as you said, the defensive side as well, to put yourself on the line.
Last one, please.
It was unlucky to go down 1-0 at half-time. I just wanted to know, what did you say to the players to get that quick?
I say go and score 2. That'd be brilliant if you could. And they did. That's how easy management is. No joking about it. I just remind them and say, look, you've got the freedom to go and perform. So don't forget the goal, forget the decision. Don't worry about decisions. I call it no disappointments. Disappointments for me after the game and for them after the game, not while it's active. So don't be disappointed. We go fresh half, fresh start, we go again. So I'm very pleased that they did. Right on the front foot, taking the game on straight away. Very pleased with that. And as I said, I wasn't displeased with the rest of the performance. It's just that human nature says as the game's coming to a close, can we just see it through? The players are just a little bit good shape, you know, just not quite fine. Apart from countering, which we did well, and of course they did that fantastically last season. There were some really good counters where we might have got something more, might have got the 3rd goal. But there's a lot of good signs over 2 out of 3 games. We've got to maintain and build on it, but there's some really strong signs of performances growing and improving, and that's key over the rest of the season.
Thank you.
I don't know yet. We're in tomorrow, so I'll get more of an assessment after tomorrow.
It looked like it's hamstring.
Yeah, I haven't literally. I've spoken to the team, not the injured players or the medics, so I don't want to put words in their mouth without my knowing.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
So, Taichi, like he said what he said. He's you know him if you've watched him before, Burnley, wherever he's been, you know, he doesn't mince these words, does it? He says exactly how he feels or how it is. Like him or hate him, love him or hate him, or loathe him, whatever. I like him for that. And the thing is, he talks about exactly what's going on in the game. right? He doesn't go and look for extra stuff to add to give the press. I mean, you can see there, Dyche calls for VAR changes. If you can look at the screen there, I think the bottom right, I just can't understand it. Dyche in disbelief with VAR after United game, you know. So obviously he's grabbed the headlines, but that's one good way of grabbing a headline. He's not blaming his players. It's put it back into the official, put it back to the Premier League and say, no, this is your fault. You guys lost us, or could have lost us all 3 points, right? Now go on and fix it. He's put that pressure back on them. So now the conversation has gone away from Forest players onto even the mistakes made or whatever. But it's taking the focus away from them and passed it onto the Premier League again, and the VAR people, whoever, PGMOL, and the referees, and say, listen, come on, that was a terrible mistake. And we all saw it. As soon as I saw it the first time, I said, no, that ball was not out. But I'll take it as a United fan. I'll take that all day. And any other fan will take it all day. But to be honest with you, it wasn't out. So if we can get goal line technology, a watch that says that ball has crossed the line or did not cross the line, why can't you extend the same technology across the board? You know what I mean? Around that area. That tells the ref, oh yeah, that ball crossed the line, or it didn't. Because that could have easily solved that issue. Can we actually get goal line technology that says that ball has gone for corner kick? And the ref, that would make it easier for them. But anyway, that would take away the fun and everything else from football, like the drama we had yesterday. So from a United point of view, I'll take that goal. I'll take the corner kick. But the reality is, it wasn't a corner. It wasn't a corner at all. It wasn't a corner kick. So, but we were due some luck, because over the year or so, we run out of luck. We run out of luck in the Premier League with VAR, with everybody else, with the refs, with the Premier League, with the pundits, with the journalists, everybody else that got involved. We run out of luck. So we're due this sort of magical luck now all of a sudden. But anyway, he said what he said. If you don't like it, do one. But here's a quick interview between Maresca. I mean, by the way, yesterday, did anyone watch the Chelsea game where Chelsea, after the final whistle, right, bro, they celebrated as if they won the league. Bro, did you win the league? Did you win the league? Yo, they were celebrating for a good 15 minutes on the pitch, as if they were lifting trophies. I understand they used to winning trophies, by the way, Chelsea, you know. They won the Club World Cup, they're the world champions, you know. But the way they celebrated that win yesterday, I blame Tottenham for that. I blame Tottenham. Thomas Frank. But anyway, let's hear what they got to say.
Hi Enzo. That was a good performance, but was the only frustration maybe that you didn't even score more? Or how did you take the game?
In any case, I'm happy with the 1-0 and with the 3 points, especially because we kept the clean sheet. That I think it's something that we need for the future. We knew that we are a team that at the end we are going to score goals, but we need to do better defensively.
Go to Kieran.
Hi, Enzo. I don't know if you're a fan of the XG metric, but Tottenham's XG today was 0.05, which is the lowest they've ever recorded in a Premier League match since XG became a thing. Does that make you proud that you managed to limit them like that?
I think the performance was very good on the ball and off the ball. For sure, the way we tried to press was very important. But I also think that our game against Liverpool off the ball was top game, was very good. And you need that. You need that if you want to be, close to the top. You need to be defensively solid. As I said, we know that almost always we score goals, but we need also to try to concede less goals.
Okay, we'll go to Simon at the front.
Enzo, not for the first time, we're going to ask you about Moises Caicedo. How good was he today? And we might be asking the obvious, but would you swap him for any other midfielder in Europe, in the league?
Moi, I think, is showing how good is. He's top. I said many times, the best thing from Moi, for sure, we judge him inside the pitch, but he's so humble, he's so good guy. He's always there to help everyone. And I just said to the television that for me, him and Rodri, in this moment, they are the two best defending midfielders in the world.
Go to Davide.
Ciao, Enzo. I say midfield. Rhys James partnered with Moi, and he played an outstanding game. What do you see in him when you play him in midfield compared to right back?
Yeah, it depends a little bit of the game plan. I think today we needed a little bit more physicality in the middle. We expect them to play with with the Sar, with the Bendancourt, with the Palinha. We didn't expect them with the four midfielder because then Bergwall also play. So we needed a little bit more physicality in the middle. But depends a little bit on the game plan. I think Rhys is doing fantastic when he's playing midfielder. He's doing fantastic when he's playing fullback, and he's doing fantastic in terms of leadership with the players inside the changing room.
Go to Jacob, front row.
It's not been an easy period for João Pedro. I mean, did you see the confidence kind of coming back into him when he scored that goal?
João has never been a problem. The problem with João is that he's not training every day because he's problems. He has some problems that we are trying to manage. So it's normal that then the consequence is that you cannot be 100% fit every game. But I'm not worried about João because João is a good player. He's going to score goals. Even when he didn't score, he had some good games. For instance, against Liverpool, I think he was also very good. Now we have Liam back that also can help us as a striker. So we have already different option. That is some good thing for us because since we start, we are without Cole. We have been 2 months without Liam. So we need offensive players.
Okay, we'll end it there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's a nice quick shot one there from Maresco. Maresco knows exactly how to answer these guys. Quick short answers. He doesn't ramble. He doesn't go off. Asking him about João Pedro there, he could have said so much, but he said a couple of things about that. He's not training every day. He's got a couple of things going on off the pitch or that we're trying to sort out. That's it. It's fitness. But somebody else would have just gone in to spiral, say so much shit that he shouldn't be saying to the press. But they don't need to know everything. And they ask him about Caicedo there. It's like him and Rodri. For me, they're the best midfielder right now in the world. End of. Rhys James, why was he playing in the midfield? Because of, tactical changes, the game. He needed it. Because Spurs played a four-man midfield. He wasn't expecting that. So he had to put Rhys James there. Again, simple and straightforward answers. He does not need to ramble. He does not need to give the press major headlines. In fact, what the press did was they took the headlines away from Chelsea. They put the blame. I mean, if you look at the headline on my screen now, it says less Tottenham booed off after Chelsea beat them again. So the attention goes to Tottenham, and they got a little bit of credit there after Chelsea beat them again. So to me, a manager does not need. That interview lasted about, let's have a look, 3 minutes 46 seconds from Maresco. Amorim spoke to the press for about 12 minutes. 12 minutes. Why? Right? If you can make your press conferences 3 minutes, 2 minutes, do it. And go celebrate with your players. Go So spend more time with your players and stop spending more time with the press. You know, Amorim's interview was 22 minutes between him and Sean Dyche. So just over 11 minutes. And this guy did his press conference in 3 minutes. Come on now. Anyway, let's move on to what the Tottenham boss Thomas Frank had to say.
Okay, who wants to start us off? Ali, wait for the mic, please. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas. Obviously, boos at the end. Can you understand the frustrations after a home derby when kind of the team created so little?
Yes, 100%. I think we all sense the frustration and the emotions. That's part of football. It's extremely painful. Of course, that's part of the job to face you guys now and ask answer the very good questions. When you just are burning inside and you like to find solutions, watch the game back, see what went wrong, all that. But I think it's about try to stay calm. In general, I think Chelsea were good. We were definitely second best. We performed badly. I think we lacked energy and intensity. That freshness, we didn't have that. Then I think the high pressure they came with, I don't think we solved it well enough, even that we worked on it. So that we need to keep working on. I think our high pressure, we lacked a little bit in the beginning until we got on top of it. And then they went up 1-0. And then we were chasing, and that was just a bad circle. Chasing, lagging intensity, energy, bad decisions, and yeah.
Speaking about emotions, it looked like after the final whistle you were trying to get Mickey van der Ven and Jed Spence to kind of stay on and maybe applaud the fans, but they just walked off straight past you. Just kind of get your take on that moment.
All the players are of course frustrated. They would like to do well. They like to win. Like to perform well. So I understand that. I think it's about which is difficult, of course, to be consistent in good times and bad times. That's why I went around to the fans as I did. It's more fun when we win. I can tell you that.
Sam.
Thomas, just to follow up, that is quite a striking image of you looking over your shoulder as the two players walk past you. Is that acceptable for you, that they would ignore you and walk off like that?
I think, understand why you ask the question. I think that's one of the small issues. We have Mickey van der Ven and Jed Spence that doing everything they can, and I think they perform very well so far this season. Everyone is frustrated. We do things in a different way, so I don't think it's a big problem.
Can I just ask as well about the XG? I mean, I don't know how much store you put in it, but it was 0.05 today. So that sort of sums up your attacking threat.
I would say that, of course, hurts massively. I've never been in charge of the team that created that little in one game, never. Also, I will look into what we can do to make it better, but I think that's one thing. I think it's everything is a little bit linked, and today, we didn't hit the level.
Jay.
Hi Thomas, can I just ask what happened exactly with Lucas, because it appeared like he was trying to stay on the pitch?
That was a concussion, so you told he couldn't stay on, and I think the medical team did a good job in that aspect. And even that he wanted to stay on, it's the right decision that he stays off.
How much did that disrupt your game plan, losing him after, I think it was only 3 or 4 minutes?
Of course, we would have loved to have him continue. That's why we picked him in the starting 11. Unfortunately, that couldn't happen. So others will step in. Xavi knew the game plan, so yeah.
Sure. Hi, Thomas. You brought on Xavi, obviously, only a few minutes into the game, and that wasn't really the plan. But then you brought him back off again. Are you worried about his confidence now because he still hasn't scored a goal as well?
No, I think it's part of it. There was a reason why we didn't start him, of course. I think he played 2 starts, short turnaround. Also that energy and freshness I talked about, played 90 minutes Wednesday night. So that's why we decided that. And then he played 70 minutes here, so I think there was nothing. It's just because it looks different when you come on after 3 minutes and get chopped off.
George.
Hi, Thomas. Can I ask you, how can the Tottenham team that's losing to Chelsea in the whole second half, one of the biggest rivals, not have a shot on target or a shot at all, I don't think, in that second half? How can that sort of happen in a game of this magnitude?
Good question. There's probably not one answer to that. One thing for sure, we need to do that better.
Can you sort of see the team evolving attacking wise? It felt like there were kind of sort of baby steps against Aston Villa, but there's been a lot of home games where it's kind of hard to see the attacking patterns of play that I'm guessing you want.
Yeah, I think the thing is all games a little bit different, but I think there was signs of it against Everton away, against Villa home, against Newcastle away. Today, there was definitely not too much signs of it.
Finish with Tom, please.
Hi, Thomas. I know you don't want to single out individuals in the lead up to the goal, but Xavi Simons, he's had a few careless passes in the games he's played so far. It feels like something that should be relatively easy to correct of a player of his technical ability. How frustrating is that? And it obviously led to a goal today.
I think when players make mistakes on the pitch, if they lose a ball or they miss a pass, or then of course I could get irritated in general. I'm not talking about the specific situation, but that's part of football. How many times have you seen a player miss a pass or do something? That happens, and that can be flow, that can be confidence, that can be everything, whatever it is. So mistakes is part of football.
And just lastly, I mean, I appreciate it's difficult after a game like that, but what can you say to fans to give them confidence that the team can start being a bit more creative in these home matches?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think today, of course, everyone will be frustrated. Let's say I have 24 hours and need to look forward again. I think today was one snapshot that didn't look good. I think there's definitely been other spells that's been better. And then there's no doubt that we have, keep saying that we have a front four that is new, that we need to build together with short turnarounds in games, and we'll do that. I'm not in doubt that will happen. I think every team I've coached have scored a lot of goals. It will happen again in the future here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
That's Thomas Frank there. Like, obviously, you saw or you heard the way he answered this question. It's short and quick. Mistakes are part of football. The media started coming from Xavi now, Simons. I mean, they're looking for a scapegoat right now, Tottenham. They're looking for somebody to blame. And it's looking like Xavi is going to be that one that's going to probably have to take the heat. If he's not strong enough, then it's going to be a problem. We looked at XG, and all he said about XG, yeah, that's not, it's something that I've got to work on. I've got to fix it. No rambling. Doesn't give the press any more than should give them. So his interview lasted over 7 minutes, obviously, but it was pretty much still, shorter than Amorim's interviews. Like Amorim spent more time. I think he enjoys being in front of the cameras. Spend more time with your players, find solutions, find this, and that's what Thomas Frank was saying there. I don't know if I've got time to bring you Emery's interview. Let me have a look. How long is Emery's interview? 2 minutes 52 seconds. 2 minutes 52 seconds. Let's hear it. And that's the difference here. 2 minutes 52. Amorim's interview was 12 minutes. Why? He gives the longest interviews to the media, to the press. He enjoys being in front of the camera. I don't know whether because he's at the first stream or something else going. I don't know, man.
Good evening. I am happy how we compete and how we started the match, the first 30 minutes, playing personality, dominating and getting chances to score. And we were stopping them, we were breaking their high press, and we were feeling comfortable on the field. But the last 50 minutes we conceded meters on the field and they were pushing more and we were defending so low, and through it they scored one goal but was offside, defending well, and we made a mistake in the first goal just when this was finishing the first half, and was very important to try to keep the result 0-0. After it, of course, we needed the second half to react, playing the same way we played the first half, but we didn't start the second half like the first half we played. And then when we were close to change something, to try to get a fresh leg and energy, just they scored the second goal. After it, we reacted as well, keeping the same game plan we had, but was difficult to come back the result, and how we compete, how we were trying to score one goal and to be again in the game. I am happy for it, but of course the result was not good, and we have to be a little bit disappointed with the result, but not how we are building our structure and how we are as well getting players minute and confidence to help us during the season. So now focus the next match on Thursday against Maccabi in Europe League. Try to as well to separate its competition and to compete with the demand we have. And then as the next step in the Premier League against Bournemouth on Sunday. Very motivated match and challenge what we will have, and how we got points against Tottenham and against Manchester City gave us confidence to continue improving, to continue through our demands to get the way getting the balance in the table. Really thankful for the supporters, because they came here to support us and to help us. We didn't achieve good result, but always thankful how they are supporting and they are as well traveling every match we are playing to be with us.
Oh, yeah, sorry. There, my mic was off. So just for him there, Emery, it was a quick analysis from in front of his camera there. I don't think there were journalists there to ask him enough questions. But just that being said, Amorim is improving the way he handles the press. Maybe somebody on his team just needs to tell him, mate, if they ask you certain questions, you don't need to ramble. Just say, you know what, I'll work on that. You know what, it's not my player. I'll speak on somebody else. I'll take the positive. I want to speak on the positive of, the game. So don't go looking for something that's not there. But I feel like he enjoys being in front of the camera. He enjoys talking about whatever unnecessary things he shouldn't be talking about. He gives the longest interview still. Everybody else thought interviews were like 4 or 5 minutes. He gives 11, 12 minutes, and the press, you can hear them laughing at the end of it all. They're laughing. Oh yeah, we got enough data to dissect. So we can change it. We can chop and change it and make headlines out of this. This is what Amorim said. So we don't need that. He needs to relax with the chat. He needs to relax with the chat. Giving press too much. Maybe give them, a little. Let them think again. Let them know that if you ask me a stupid question, next time you'll not get an answer. And Thomas Frank is a typical example of that. The questions he answered were like, yeah, I'll work on that. Yeah, that's something we've got to work on. Mistakes happens in football. It's not just Xavi. We can fix that. No, I took him off because of fitness. X, Y, Z. Amorim will go round and round in circles, repeating himself. You don't have to repeat yourself, Amorim, to these people. You owe them some sort of explanation because they pay enough money for them to be in those rooms. And but yeah, with that being said, United yesterday were happy we didn't lose the game. We got a draw. We stay in top 5. Congratulations to Mo Salah for the 250th goal that he scored in Premier League for one team. So that's brilliant. But those are my analysis today of how the Premier League ended yesterday. So well done to everyone. I don't think I managed to get through to all the managers, but I've got other stuff to do. I'm going to take Alice out for training. We're going to go do some football drills, probably post videos later on. We're going to go to the I don't know where we're going to go do it yet, but yeah, we're going to go out and do some football drills because he missed training this weekend. He missed training on Friday and Saturday. But we're going to go out now and make up for it. It's cold out there, But we'll have to wrap up one. Anyway, with that being said, thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for interacting. I hope you all have a great rest of weekend.